Hello, we are AP Lang students here at Thomas Stone. We're here to give you some tips and tricks on how you write your argumentative essay.
Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is analyze the text so you can understand what you're gonna write about, and from then you can make your argument about what. So things to keep in mind when you're analyzing your text is always highlight what you think or underline what you think is the most important. So when it says passage below in an excerpt from Empire of Illusion by Chris Hedges, read the passage carefully, then write an essay in which you develop a position on Hedges' argument that the most essential skill is artifice. Use appropriate and specific evidence to illustrate and develop your position. So now you know here, this is what you are either agreeing or going against in your argumentative essay. And the excerpt says, the most essential skill in political theater and a consumer culture is artifice. Political leaders who use the tools of mass propaganda to create a sense false of intimacy with citizens no longer need to compete sincere or honest. They need only to appear to have these qualities. Most of all, they need a story, a personal narrative. The reality of the narrative is irrelevant. It can completely at odds with the facts. The consistency and emotional appeal of the story are paramount. Those who are best at deception succeed. Those who have not mastered the art of entertainment, who fail to create a narrative or do not have one fashioned for them by their handlers, are ignored and they become unreal. An image-based culture communicates.
Paris Dunbar to the office for early dismissal. Paris Dunbar to the office for early dismissal.
An image-based culture communicates through narratives, pictures, and pseudodrama. So when we read this, the things that stand out to me are only need to appear to have those qualities. It's no longer sincere or honest. The reality of the narrative is irrelevant, and those who are best at deception succeed. So now we understand what artifice is if you didn't know already, using context clues to understand words that you don't know. So now we know what artifice is, and now we can take a stance on whether or not artifice is the most essential skill. And you would have to personally think, what can I support? And then make your thesis, because everything stems from your thesis.
Okay, so when writing your argumentative essay, you want to have three types of support. Historical, which is relevant to the past. Literature, which is a source that comes from a book. And a personal anecdote, which is a personal connection to the topic. As you can see here, we have a picture of Gandhi. This would be a historical source because it is a photograph from a picture he took standing with his people. This picture is a good source when you want to explain the effect of truth and honesty. Here we have another support of historical, and you can see that he is also surrounded by a bunch of pretty faces, and he is also smiling, which we all know who Hitler is, which is obviously a sign that there is some deceitfulness going on. And with this, we can use this to try and back up how artifice is an important skill and is a refutation to Gandhi. Here we have a personal anecdote from James Comey. It is a quote from his book, A Higher Loyalty. It says, "It was simply not true that the biggest crowd in history attended the inauguration, as he asserted, or even that Trump's crowd was bigger than Obama's. To say otherwise, not to offer an opinion, a view, a perspective, it was a lie." This quote is important because it shows that even Trump has obviously lied to get to where he is, and that this is a very important skill to have, which we will go over on how you can organize this later.
Alright, so this is your basic argumentative essay graphic organizer prompt right here. It's broken up into 4 categories. So you start out with your introduction paragraph, and it has a hook to grab the audience's attention, some background information on the topic that you're doing the essay on, and your thesis statement that is pretty much what you're argumenting, like your point that you're trying to prove. The next step is to go into your body paragraphs, and they're broken up into 3 paragraphs because you'll have 3 paragraphs in the argumentative essay. You start out with a topic sentence, which is like your starter sentence. For each one of these, they'll be all 3 different. The topic sentence is pretty much just to grab, like, it's pretty much just an explanation of the whole entire paragraph in one sentence. So it kind of breaks down the paragraph and shows you what's going to be in this paragraph. Text evidence portion is evidence from the prompt or text, like that you use with pictures, or say you have a prompt that you have to go out of and annotate. That'll be the evidence to support your thesis. And the segue statement is a transitional statement that pretty much transitions this paragraph onto the next. You will repeat the steps 2 times, well 3 times, over and over again with different evidence and different topic sentences. Next, you have your counterclaim. So next you start out with your counterclaim. It's the same thing as your introduction paragraph, but it is the opposite form. So like whatever your thesis is, it's the exact opposite. So say I supported something, it's somebody that doesn't support something that you'd put down here. And you do the same thing with your body paragraphs. You do the text evidence out of the prompt or picture that is given to you that counters your argument. And then this is pretty much just summing that up. And after that, you will do the conclusion paragraph, and this is restating your thesis, which is pretty much what you're arguing. You summarize all 3 of your body paragraphs right here for your supporting evidence. You put all your text evidence in there to pretty much just support, like, restate everything that you used in your essay to come up with your thesis. And then your concluding statement is pretty much a statement at the end that concludes everything, and it is like the cutoff to it. So pretty much everything that you talked about in it, you will include right here, and it just sums up the whole entire essay. That's the conclusion paragraph.